Hi, I'm Lydia Wietzma with Revelation Real Estate, and today we're at our podcast, Solving Life's Next Chapter. We have Jon Scott Williams with Fellowship Square, and thank you for coming, Jon Scott.
Well, it's my pleasure to be here, Lydia.
Well, you are one of my favorite. I have known you for such a long time. So you've been with Fellowship Square for about 33 plus years, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. As the executive director, you're one of the founding folks with Fellowship Square, correct?
Well, we'd say one of the original visionaries. Myself and John Norris started as volunteers.
Okay.
May 31st, 1986.
Wow.
I was chairman of the board of the organization. I hired John about 3 years into it. 10 years later, he hired me. That was the quid pro quo. And I've never looked back.
Okay, sounds good. Well, tell us what our viewers, explain to us what is Fellowship Square and how was it developed?
Fellowship Square came out of our Christian Care property on 19th Avenue in Phoenix near Cactus Road.
Okay.
We had a floundering nursing center there. That's why myself and John Norris were asked to come in and help the not-for-profit organization out.
Okay.
Founded by the Christian Churches of Arizona,
Okay.
of which Christ Church of the Valley, Central Christian Church, Phoenix Christian are the largest organizations.
Right.
And we went on the board in order to straighten it out. And we found that our nursing center needed private pay. And we said, how would we get private pay into our nursing center? We had a HUD low-income building.
Right.
And so most of our natural clientele came from a HUD building, which were, we'll use the word Altex at that time, low income. And it was $400,000 in the red, and the board asked us, will you guys come and help us out? We think we're going to turn this building into a air-conditioned mini storage so we can pay our bills.
Wow.
We looked at the sign on the door. It was Psalm 71:9, do not abandon me when my strength faileth.
Yeah.
And I said, well, that'd probably work, but I don't know that's why we chose to come. So they said, well, if you had a private pay source, and we had extra 20 acres there, and we built a $15 million 265 unit on. And at that time, we borrowed money. It was called a Michael Milk and Junk Bond.
Okay.
We're one of the only Michael Milk and Junk Bonds that was successful.
That actually was successful,
and paid everybody back every penny.
Wow. Okay.
It has quite a story.
Okay. Wow. That's amazing. I did not know that. So you have independent assisted memory care within all of your communities.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. Okay. And I know you've just recently, in the last few years, have gotten more into the memory care community as well, just for the need of it.
Not just the need. We never had a solution.
Okay.
We always had the need.
Right.
I would, out of our population of 236 independent units, every year I would have to move people a higher level of care who were suffering from brain disease because I had no good solution.
Right.
A few years ago, we came across a good solution. We use Comfort Matters, developed by the Beatitudes Campus of Care in Phoenix.
Okay.
And Comfort Matters is a solution that allows every minute to be the best minute it can be, where the residents with brain disease living in our community, everything is based on what they need. Logic has no place in that community.
Right.
We don't try to re-educate them or teach them what mathematics or anything. We find out where they are, and we enter into their world so that they can be as comfortable as possible.
Right.
And they don't have to doubt that they don't know what's going on.
Right.
We don't want to increase their anxiety.
Absolutely.
We want to decrease it. And in doing that, we get rid of most of the painkillers and most of the psychotropic drugs.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. So Fellowship Square is really known for the great food, the activities, the security, wellness, and the socialization. Give us some examples of when I'm selling a house and someone's moving into a community, there's a lot of anxiety. They don't know what to expect. They think that they're being sent off and no one's going to go visit them. Tell us some of your experience with over the years that you have experienced when people move in, how they are when they first move in versus how they are a few months later.
My previous life, I did accounting.
Okay.
And we usually have no problem with emotions. We don't have emotions, and our heart is good. It's never been used.
Right.
But at 47, I changed, and I went on. I took the position to duplicate our Fellowship Square Phoenix in Mesa in order to bring it for our church. I originally designed it for the Christian church members,
right,
which did not show up in droves, but we had a lot of other people that did, and we're very happy for that. What happens is a person moves in, and they think everything is going to be different. Mm-hmm. They have the idea that they'll lose all their freedom. They have the idea that everyone there is moving in to die. Mm-hmm. And the next stage, after they move there, not too long, they'll be at the cemetery down the street. Not true.
Right.
Our residents moved to Fellowship Square to live life, and to live life abundantly, and to live until they die. Mm-hmm. They're more scared of losing their driver's license than they are of dying. And if you're young, we don't think that way.
Right.
But if your average age is 90, which mine are,
right,
the average age of the residents moving at 86,
right,
they've made their peace.
Right.
And there's not a whole lot of evangelism that goes on in our community.
Right.
But we do live a Christian under Christian values.
Okay.
Language is expected to be civil. We do not proselytize our people. If a person needs a rabbi, we'll find a rabbi. Mm-hmm. If they want a bishop or a priest, we'll bring a bishop or priest in. We'll bring a LDS bishop in for our LDS residents. Whatever they're looking for, we'll find.
Right.
And we follow our residents throughout.
Right.
But people will move in, and I'll see them walk by my office window, and you can see they look like if I went back to college or high school, freshman high school's that look.
Yeah.
That look of, am I going to be accepted? What's going on here? Have I made the right decision? Those things are going through their mind.
Right.
Before too long, you see them walking with somebody else, and they're discussing and they're talking. Within 30 days, their whole life has changed. I asked my mother to move in at 75.
Okay.
And she says, Scott, what would I can't afford that. That's very expensive. And I said, don't worry, Mom, we'll take care of that. She moved in, and before too long, she took a job as being a hostess in the dining room.
Oh.
And although, remember, I said my average age is 90.
Right.
She was a teenager at 75. She had a car, and she had girlfriends for the first time in her life.
Oh.
She would drive them on non-freeways on all the surface streets wherever they went. But she was very popular.
Right.
She had never been popular before, and she just lived a wonderful life there.
Yep.
About 15 days into it, she says, Scott, I should have moved here 10 years ago.
Yep.
I hear that over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I should have done it 10 years sooner.
Yep.
And you should.
Yeah.
Don't be, I know you sell real estate, and real estate's good, but that brick will not help you up in the morning.
Right.
And that brick will not make breakfast for you, and that brick will not help you get your clothes on, and that brick will not take your temperature.
Yep,
okay?
that's true.
Because of that, as a person ages in a certain way, especially if children are far away or if they're close by and working, it's best to socialize.
Right.
And that's where we come up with social interaction, wellness activities, lifelong learning, nutrition and dining, and volunteerism.
That's
My
a big
biggest
portion of it, huh?
is to volunteer in the community.
Right.
I have former teachers. Owen, he goes over and he reads 25 minutes twice a week at the elementary school across the street.
Oh.
And that school has 400 at-risk students whose grandparents do not live in the United States or close by.
Yeah.
He is being the grandparent to literally dozens and dozens of children.
Right.
And if you just stop and think, whenever your mother read to you or your grandmother read to you,
Yep.
brings back wonderful memories.
Well, and I think also it gives him purpose. And I think that's a lot of our seniors don't have purpose when they live at home alone. I've experienced that with my clients when they've moved in, especially to communities like yours, where their life has changed. Like they actually, once they get that socialization and they're actually eating 3 meals a day, good meals a day, they are totally a different person. They have better clarity, and they're more, they just are more alert, and there's not as many fall issues. And I mean, all the different things that happen when you get everything that's connected with a well-rounded person.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And volunteering, when you talk about find their purpose, we're all here for a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And retirement is not a word that's in the Bible. It's the only word that we have.
Right.
But it's not the word. People repurpose now.
Right.
And with repurposing, especially the silent generation, they can now do what they put off in the past.
Right.
And many people say, I don't know why I'm still alive.
Yeah.
Why am I still here? I remember on 9/11, I asked the residents, we had a big meeting, 9/11, and I said, some of you were wondering why you're still here. How many of you were here from Pearl Harbor? Well, they all raised their hand. I said, you're here to teach us how to get through a disaster.
Oh, that is true. That is
They
true.
hadn't thought about it.
Yeah, yeah.
But God meant it for good.
Yep, exactly, exactly. Well, one thing that I do like about your community is you are you've been in the senior industry for such a long time, and you understand the needs of the seniors, and kind of it's constantly changing as our next generation gets to be seniors. And with our baby boomers, you had mentioned earlier that the oldest baby boomer is 76 years old now. So you are, your particular community is very big into technology. And that's really the main reason why I wanted you to talk to us today is technology. A lot of people think, oh, seniors don't know anything about technology. Tell us what you've done within your community for the different technologies, and kind of what your forward thinking is for the next generation.
Well, technology, seniors as a rule, I remember when I first put the first computer in at Fellowship Square.
Okay.
And at that time, they were running.
Was that
around,
about 30 years ago?
Well, it was 1997.
Okay.
Okay. 1997 at Fellowship Square Mesa.
Okay.
And we put together some resident computers because most people didn't have computers in their house.
Right.
Okay. And this was back when Windows 95. And Windows 95, I remember teaching people
that's
about
funny.
that.
Yeah.
Saying the secrets of Windows 95, and I'd show people how to do tricks on it.
Right.
But we put it in, and the resident comes up to me. I said, look, we can take and do an email, and you can email to your relative in Kansas City from Mesa. It goes at the speed of light. And the guy wasn't impressed. He says, why would I pay $600 for what a 34-cent stamp would? And I looked at him. Then I sent a picture. But this was whenever we had dial-ups.
Right,
okay? Right. So I sent a picture. And that was kind of impressive. But he was very impressed when the picture came back.
Okay.
Because now you didn't have to wait weeks and months. And you remember back when film was expensive?
Yes.
Now you can take 1,000 pictures, of which 10 are extraordinary.
Right.
But it doesn't cost you any. We used to have to wait for the pictures to come back, make duplicates, send them off, and then hope that they would be able to read it in that, and then you couldn't enjoy it in the moment.
And they weren't as clear as they are now, too. So
now the images, you can send thousands of images. You can video, you can chat. We have residents who their families in Australia, and there's no long distance anymore.
Yeah.
We used to have long distance.
Right.
All of those things allow families to be close. My son and my three grandchildren live in Texas. On Saturday mornings, we're Facebooking them to us, and they're up against it and say, "Why do you live so far away?" I says, "Far away? You're on the other side of the screen." Every time I see them on Facebook, I save $2,000.
Yeah.
Because you have to fly there 2 hours back.
Right.
And after 10 minutes, the grandkids aren't that interested in us anymore. They're out in the backyard doing something. So I said, that's $2,000 for 12 minutes of 3 grandkids.
That is true. That is true.
But by putting the technology in then we started building one thing on another.
Okay.
And a lot of my residents have macular degeneration.
Okay.
And it's hard for them to read.
Right.
So we took Sun Sounds of Arizona.
Okay.
It comes on as a radio, but we plugged it into one of our TV channels
Okay.
to where it's our low vision channel, and we put the programming up.
Okay.
And Sun Sounds has volunteers to read current periodicals all day long, Spanish, English, to our residents, so they can get today's news in depth, not just watching like potato chip news on the TV. They can go in depth and a lot of good articles.
So you have your own basically TV set up there, and one of the channels is for low vision folks with low vision issues.
Low vision residents.
Okay.
We have 6 in-house channels.
Interesting.
And with the 6 in-house channels, we're able to, at this time, we take and put today's menu up, and they can read the menu, today's activities. It goes through like a slideshow. We can put commercials on, things they're interested in.
Right.
And
I know I've been there. Sometimes you have your activities for the day on there as well,
right.
where they're going and what they're doing for the day.
And for residents with acceptable vision, that's not any kind of a problem.
Right.
But again, my low vision residents, which are about 25 to 30% of my population, they can't read.
Okay, interesting.
So we went to Alexa.
Okay.
And Alexa is a device, which is actually a computer, but people don't know it.
Right.
The word Alexa is a click, and then the command is the drag.
Okay.
So you click and drag, and you're able to do things without touching anything. Okay. So verbally, I can say now, Alexa, ask InTouch what's for lunch. And it reads the menu. These servers are actually in Canada. At the speed of light, comes right back and says, well, today for lunch is, and it reads the soup, the salad, the entrees, everything that's available for lunch that day.
Right.
And then when you say, Alexa, what's going on? Now, if you're a low vision person, you have your dignity back because you don't have to call the front desk who are busy. You can get that information.
Yep.
And we have these Alexas set up to where in common areas, they become concierge. Okay?
So you are, 2 questions about the Alexa. They are provided not in everybody's room, but they are in certain spots within the community that they can go to and ask some of these questions.
Because we're in the beta, we've started, anyone interested, we're providing it at no charge. Every new resident moving in gets it as a gift. They get the Alexa Dot, which allows them to do these items.
Right.
The Alexa Dot is connected to our soon-to-be installed Wi-Fi thermostats. And from their chair, they can turn the temperature up, turn it down.
Very cool.
For the green, and my new population is very green, whenever a person leaves their apartment, they don't have to touch the thermostat. When there's no more motion after a certain amount of time, it goes to the economy mode. When they come back, it goes back to their settings.
Oh, that's very cool.
And because it's at the enterprise level, I see all 407 thermostats from my computer. And if we see that after so many hours, the temperature hasn't changed so much time, we're going to have that device checked. Most likely it's low freon. So our preventive maintenance, we can see the problem before.
Wow.
We'll save 15% on our utilities in a heartbeat. And then on the maintenance of those, because if you keep the compressor going, it'll last. My average compressor lasts 15 years at Fellowship Square. Normally they're 20.
Wow.
Normally they're 10.
Right.
But we have extra life. And with this device, they're going to last easily 20 years.
Wow. So you are, you're basically the beta testing for this product so that eventually it will go into hospitals or other communities where there are folks like this that need more assistance. Is that kind of what?
Well, what it does, it makes life easier.
Okay.
And we're tied, you said the word earlier, fall. Mm-hmm. Fall risk is huge
it's
among this
big.
population.
Yep.
And if you've ever gone to a senior's apartment, knock on the door, you normally knock twice, and then you can hear a commotion coming, especially if they have a walker or something.
Right.
They're trying to get to the door.
Right.
It's much longer than in our own residences.
Right.
When they're coming, they don't know who it is.
Right.
Okay, so they're coming to the door, and they could fall just coming to the door.
Yeah.
Changing the TV channel. Have you ever noticed all of these companies who think they're senior friendly think black numbers on black remote controls, that they think that's just clever as can be.
Right.
My seniors can't see black on black.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And with Alexa, you can say, Alexa, tell the TV, change the channel. Channel 66. You can say, Alexa, and this is another one that we have in beta, what channel's Bonanza on?
Oh.
And it'll tell me what channel Bonanza is on and at what time over the next 7 days. I can say Game Show Network. What's on channel? Let me play NBC, play Fox.
Right.
It will do all of those and tell the TV what to do. So it becomes very smart. How smart do you want your apartment?
Right.
In the future, I'll only charge residents for smartness, not for Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Wi-Fi is like the light switch. How smart you want the apartment, that's up to you.
So tell us about, you were mentioning that there's only 2 places that are doing this beta testing.
Right.
Tell us more about that.
Well, I was very interested in it, and I assigned this project to Todd Carling. He's our business development associate at the community, very into technology.
Okay.
And if you went into his office, it looks a lot like this, with a whole bunch of gadgets. And we have found that if we can prevent seniors from falling, and if they don't fall, they'll take advantage of the longevity dividend that we have, which is anywhere from 10 to 20 years.
Okay.
What are you going to do with that extra time?
Right.
And we have devices on the campus that are 3D cameras. You walk 12 feet, and my equipment is so accurate. It measures 36 different indices in your walk. I can tell, based on your age, whether or not you'll have a fall in the next 30 days.
Interesting.
You send that information. We send it HIPAA compliant to your doctor.
Okay.
Your doctor reads the information.
Okay.
Gives you a prescription for therapy.
Right.
Our therapist comes in, runs you through a complete test, not just a screening, and he gets paid for that. Then you can have prehab. This is the thing in Medicare. Prehab, which is far less expensive than rehab.
Yes.
And your life is not at risk. Stay strong to last long. Our new residents come in. Within 10 days, we ask them to go over and have a screening.
Right.
And by the way, this screening is available to anybody who wants to come out to the East Valley, to Fellowship Square Mesa.
So even people that are not part of your
You don't
community.
have to be a part of the community.
Okay.
Call, make an appointment. We will do the screening. I need your name, your email, your age.
Okay.
And then we can send you that information, and you can do with it whatever you want.
Okay. That is fantastic.
And we do it left and right. Every place we go, if we go to a health fair, there's long lines, and we give everybody rain checks if we can't get it through.
Okay,
but the information is wonderful, and seniors do not have to fall.
Right.
The guy who invented this equipment that I'm using is the same fellow that when you go to the airport and put your hands up, he developed that for the Department of Defense.
Okay.
And they have used this in such ways to benefit Americans.
Right.
You don't fall, you save yourself $350,000 over a 5-year period. Plus, at 86, a fall could be a death sentence.
Absolutely. My grandmother fell and they didn't find her early enough, so she started dehydrating, and then she ended up having, once they found her and we got her to the hospital, that she had to have dialysis for the rest of her life because of the dehydration and the failure of her kidneys. And so there's a lot of things that could cause more issues with falling other than just a broken bone or something like that.
That's the other area that we're in is our care system, which is our emergency call alert system.
Okay.
Is connected to Alexa now, and you don't even have to have your pendant on. And I've never used the pull cords that are in the bathroom.
Right.
You imagine dragging yourself to the bathroom? Nobody can. That's why they dehydrate. With Alexa, you can say, Alexa, I need help. Call my nurse.
Okay.
Alexa, I need help. Call security.
Okay.
It is not a 911 device.
Right.
It is not used for that. But
So internally, it's
we're able to call.
Right.
And if you know your daughter's phone number, which most people do, you say, Alexa, call my daughter, and put the number in.
Right.
Without touching anything, without moving 1 inch.
Right.
It will call the daughter. It'll call the front desk. It'll call me.
Right.
We have in-house numbers that are programmed into the system.
Interesting. Okay.
And your grandmother would never dehydrate in that situation unless she was completely unconscious.
Right. And I have a client right now that we're buying a house for that works for the Maricopa. She works for Maricopa. What do you call it? Can't even think of it. They do all the autopsies for all the deaths.
Oh, coroner's office.
The coroner's office, yeah. And she said, we're working 10, 12-hour days because when it heats up like this, there's more deaths and more dehydration and more issues. And, of course, when they pass away, then they've got to go to the coroner's office, and that's what they're – so this definitely would help. How is your seniors – how are they accepting of all this technology that's in there?
Two classes of people.
Okay.
One, this is great. They see that they can from their easy chair, they're able to get all this stuff done.
Okay.
And because of abuses that we see,
right,
and because of hacks, it's not too much different when I'm talking with them. There is a camera on your laptop that I see that you have. Do you know a person can hack that?
Yes, I do. That's why I have it covered.
Yes. Now you have a cover. There's also a microphone. Do you have that covered?
I don't.
Okay. This is what I'm saying.
Okay.
We're all vulnerable to hacks.
Absolutely.
And have you ever read the thing whenever you get Google email, Gmail? Have you read the thing? You give them permission to read every one of your emails.
Interesting.
And they do. And if you've noticed, if you're sending an email, you're interested in buying a new pickup, a blue one.
Right.
All of a sudden, when you're on Safari or Google, you see all sorts of blue pickups.
Yep. You get a lot of advertisement. That's how real estate agents do it too, with kind of the intelligent.
We know what it is. It's intelligent.
Right.
I'm not looking. I don't care if you sneeze or what's going on in your house.
Right.
I'm looking for marketing.
Right.
In our system, no personal data is collected.
Okay.
So some of the things that you can do on Amazon in your own onesie, twosie house will not work in our community.
Okay.
We are HIPAA compliant.
Okay.
Nothing of a personal nature is collected.
Right.
Alexa is waiting for you to use that word, Alexa, so it is listening.
Okay.
We have some people with Scottish brogue accents.
Okay.
Alexa doesn't understand that very
well.
Alexa knows that they don't understand accents.
Right.
So they're looking for information, data on how to learn what that person is saying.
Okay.
So they do collect that data. On Thursday this week, we have 2 people from Amazon coming out from the hospitality desk, and they're going to educate our residents on the abuses, and they can talk to the cows come home on the information that is picked up strictly for purposes.
Right.
But that's the second group of people I have. This is spyware. This is designed to listen to everything going on. This is something that later on the police departments will subpoena my Alexa recordings, and because there have been things where they've been subpoenaed. Parrots say Alexa, and it records the background downhills.
Right.
I'm going to say, just like Google cars, self-driving cars,
Right.
We are in the beginning stage.
Right.
And I think the world of self-driving cars has a great future. But right here in Tempe, not too long ago, a person lost their life.
Right.
Because the technology didn't work.
Right.
But that doesn't stop us. They know that when they go to build a dam, so many people are going to die.
Right.
But you don't stop building a dam because the greater
Right.
nature.
Right.
Now, you're sorry for everyone who does.
Right.
But we have water today because we built dams a year ago.
Absolutely.
Even though they knew predictably, and I know predictably, when I build a public pool, people are going to drown.
Right.
Okay. Those are the negative sides.
Right.
So when I talk like this to my seniors,
Right.
who are wise,
Right.
and I don't deny it.
Right.
I say, yes, it's a problem.
Right.
No, they haven't figured everything out.
Right.
It will be better. But if you, from your chair, can fix the TV,
Right.
can adjust the thermostat, can call for help, can get information
Right.
without moving, and if you're in a position that walking is awkward,
Right.
now you're safer.
Right.
You won't fall.
Exactly.
Is that worth it?
Right.
Okay. And when I
And
asked the
they
question,
do realize that.
well, yes.
Okay.
But I was talking to a person at lunch today. She said, well, I'm still on the edge because my kids say stay away from that. I says, no one is cramming this down. But if you're in a public area and you're next to one of our public TVs and you want to know, you want to call the front desk, you just say, Alexa, call the front desk. And you don't have to walk up to the front desk.
Right.
And you want to know where the bus is it coming to the apartment, to your building, you can call the front desk and find out where the bus is. You can do that easily, but you don't have to touch anything.
Right. Right.
Which means a lot of seniors don't need to have a phone.
Right. Right. Wow, that's interesting. Well, we are definitely going to have you come back because I'd love to know how it ends up. How long are you doing the beta testing? Is there a certain amount of time that you're doing that in, or?
Well, one product, Televita, we've been doing that for almost a year.
Okay.
For the Family Gadget, I've been doing that for 2 years.
Okay.
For Never Too Late, which is technology for seniors to help with dementia and memory, I've been doing that since 2015.
Okay.
So once you get into these groups, there's always another product to test.
Right.
How does this work? What's the acceptance? What's the drawbacks?
Right.
Our R-Care, which is our verbal pendant,
Right.
help I can't get up button, because we have a communicating device,
Right.
the first problem we ran into, it says resident is not in their apartment because it doesn't go through the communicating device,
Right.
which has an antenna.
Right.
One of the technology we have, if you're in your apartment and you press your button, I know you're there because that antenna picked it up, and I'm able to talk to you directly.
Okay, gotcha.
Now, when you do it on Alexa, it's looking for that antenna. So we have to make some tweaks.
Right.
But I can talk back to you
Right.
whenever you call on the Alexa.
Okay,
So
okay.
there are things, there are unintended consequences, which once you figure out how to do it,
Right.
then we're able to move forward.
Right.
And we solve that problem. Check that off.
Right.
And the next person
Move on to the next.
next
Yep.
person benefits.
Yep.
And there's always technology problems.
Right, right. That is true. Well, I really appreciate you coming and talking to us about your Alexa program and how the process has worked for you. And I would love to have you come back and give us. You're just a wealth of information that it's just hard to talk in 30 minutes about everything that you do for your community. So, but it is better to help with to increase the care for the next generation, and that's what I like about you is you're so forward thinking. Sometimes you're almost too forward thinking, Jon Scott. So, but we are glad that you came, Jon Scott Williams with Fellowship Square, and I wanted to also thank our two sponsors, Savior Hospice and Palliative Care and Dispatch Health.
Good outfits, both of them.
Both of them are awesome, and I know that Rebecca, her father, lives in your community, so she's been very happy that he's there. So
I am too.
yeah. So Jon Scott, just tell us real quick, how does someone get a hold of you? What's the best phone number to reach Fellowship Square?
The best phone number to reach Fellowship Square, our main number is 480. I've never dialed that.
What is the number?
480-654-1800.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.